You do think there are some problems with this and some problems with trying to do this so quickly for a plan that's been put through. Why don't you explain what you think is wrong with it?
So, yeah, so I think, you know, let's step back a second here, right? I mean, clearly what's driving the Build Back Better plan that the administration is proposing is the social spending programs, right? Childcare, healthcare, education, right? Tax is just kind of is the funding mechanism by which to pay for those programs, right? And clearly Democrats are on a very compressed schedule, right? And obviously when that happens, that's going to raise challenges as to kind of what's the right policy, right? You're seeing it play out right now, right? The Senate, the House, different senators with different priorities, and all that's happening extremely quickly. So it is challenging for stakeholders, even members of Congress, to try to assess kind of what are the consequences of these tax proposals.
I think we have Joel back. Joel, you want to respond? We were just in the middle of that when we lost the connection.
Yes, well, yeah, without a doubt, the spending proposals are the largest expansion of government in our nation's history. The issue is, well, how are we going to pay for it? Well, even going by the CBO's own estimates, this would only bring in about $120 billion over that 10-year period, which covers only about 1/15 of the total amount of spending that's been proposed just with this reconciliation package and the infrastructure bill. So we really have to ask ourselves, is that $120 billion of possible revenue coming in from increased compliance, is that worth the harassment of so many small businesses by these 90,000 new agents, businesses that for the most part are complying? If you look at the numbers coming in,
it's been the wealthiest Americans who have seen their audits go down. You know, let's just be fair and straight about that. It's been the wealthiest Americans who saw their audits go down as there were less money to go around with auditors. And that has in turn encouraged people to kind of push the envelope in terms of what they will and won't do. And again, if you're a W-2 employee, you are paying exactly what you're due because everybody's checking and looking ahead of time. If you're using different ways of going about it, whether that be calling yourself a small business, because there have been a lot of individuals who have done that over the last 10 or 20 years, you know, or doing something else to play around the edges, that's, I think, where enforcement would have a little more teeth.
Yeah, and if you look at the Congressional Budget Office analysis of this proposal, they make it clear that this audit risk is not just going to be for those that are in those upper income levels, and it's not just going to be an increased audit risk for those that aren't in compliance. This is going to be an increased audit risk for all, regardless of what you're earning and regardless of whether or not you actually are in compliance. And that's the big concern here.
Looking at the IRS as an honor system, you know, you're going to have people who always pay exactly what they owe, and you're going to have people who cheat. If you just do it on the honor system, that's the way it's going to work out. I do think you have a fair point, both of you, with the idea that this may not be anywhere near the income that the Democrats are counting on. I think the CBO will show us that later this week. But, you know, again, you can look at the two questions and maybe come out with a different answer on each.